We are the Braxtons, and you'll see that we are not like an ordinary family. Tony, Tracy, too, but the Trinity, my Tiana, teach you a thing or two on Braxton family values. Hey everybody, that was my little rendition of Braxton family values. I'm the sixth. I can't believe sixth lost Braxton. Okay, Tiana. All of them is T. Why can't I be in the mix too? Well, yeah, I'm the sixth hitting Braxton. Okay, I just don't get as much TV time. But anyway, so speaking of Braxtons, I'm here to do a review for Braxton Family Values Season 3, Episode 2. Okay, so I'm sorry I didn't do one for episode 1, but to kind of just to speed you up on what happened for those of you who didn't get to watch it. The girls go to Italy now. The episode opens up with Tony and Tamar talking about Italy. Tony brings it up to her at the last minute, like she always does stuff. Okay, and then Tony doesn't even know what late means. Tamar had to explain to her, like, girl, you late? You don't know what late means? That you know slang. Late means you falling behind. Yeah, like go somewhere. You girl, you late. You ain't on top of stuff. Like, you late. Okay. So basically, now she tells her they're going to Italy, but see, Tamar has press to do in New York for her single Love and War, which I listen to it every day. Oh my god, I love that song. So Tamar's like, sorry Tone, I can't go, da 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 da. Okay, so speed up to the Italy trip. It is Tracy, Trina, Tawanda, and Tony, and it's Tawanda's birthday weekend at the time, so it was a nice little birthday trip for her. And also Tracy gets pinched on the asa by the Italian dude. Now he's cute, mind you. He's like, he said something like, okay, that no something. And Tracy's like, he pinching my asa. So anyway, and then the birthday cake. Tony, YouTube. See, the black people, we just can't. What kind of ghetto bakery? What kind of bakery did she go to? First of all, the cake, you couldn't even cut it. Then it said Kanananda. It didn't even say Tawanda. It said Kanananda. I was like, Tony, you could have wrote that down for them. Like, come on now. Kanananda, that sounds like a STD or something. So anyway, and then they're Tawanda and them. Tawanda's basically being, I'm not going to say the whole word, being about Tamar not being there. And so that's just to kind of recap you on what happened on episode 1. Now I'm going to get to episode 2. So episode 2, they're back from Italy and stuff like that. It opens up in Atlanta. Now Trina is packing her bags to go to Vancouver to see Tony, as the rest of the sisters are, and their mom Evelyn. They're going to go see Tony because Tony is shooting a movie for I think Lifetime or Hallmark or something, like a made-for-TV movie she was shooting, and it's up in Vancouver, Canada. So it's like, she finally packs her bags and gets her stuff, and Gabe is in there, and she's like, I got my new and improved hubby Gabe. She says Gabe, and they swear Trina's a Canadian. Like later on in the episode, they were like, we don't know where mommy and daddy got Trina from. We know Trina is a Canadian. She is not an American. She talks just like one. She really does, though. But anyway, so, Gabe, she was like, Gabe, what do I pack? Summer stuff or winter stuff? He's like, you should get winter stuff. I mean, it's probably cold. And it's summer up in Canada, so, Gabe looking like a bum with his house clothes on. His game show host haircut. So then she's fussing over the boys, like, Caleb ain't even driving yet, married people stuff. So then Trina says goodbye, and she's like, Gabe, take care of the boys, like he the babysitter or something. So anyway, then the next day they're in Vancouver, so everybody's there, even Tamar. Okay, so Tamar's and the mom is there, and Tracy and Tawanda, Trina, Tony. And first of all, they get to the set. Now the set, I think, is on a farm or nearby to a farm. So they get there and they're like, what is that putrid smell? Now, mind you, farms don't smell all that nice. So they get there, and it's like, as Tracy would say, it smells like on shingles. Okay, that's what she said. On shingles. I was dead when she said that. So everybody could not stand the smell. It smelled like somebody done died. Tamar said it smelled like an autopsy. Well, anyway, now they're in Tony's trailer and they're talking, and like, oh, she's like, oh, get ready for the movie and all that. And one thing they said, Trina's dressing like a rock star, like, and you're out in the country. Tony's kind of poking fun at her, and she's like, you are doing, like, Tony's like, you are doing rock star, but I love it. Here, Tamar on the side, it ain't that fabulous. Like, I sense a little shade. I smell a little shade. Don't smell good. Okay. So I was like, ooh, okay. Even Trina kind of got, But anyway, you know, Tony kind of tries to keep it, you know, light. She's like, oh, we're down home on the farm. Down today. So then, okay, now they move on to the church scene. Now, the church is supposed to look like it's been robbed. So they go in, and it's like, they're like, guys, don't touch. Tony's like, don't touch nothing. You know, it's supposed to be like this way. So they get there, and they're having their little lighthearted fun in the church. And so everybody's like, everybody grab your own pew. Grab your own pew. And we gonna do like the girl that used to be at our daddy's church. She used to be like doing the electric slide in her seat. And they all cutting up. So that was light. And then now we're going to get to, I think I'm going to jump to the next day. The sisters are supposed to have like a little sister bonding thing for the day. So they go to this nature park, and they all get there. Everybody's on time except yours truly, Tamar Braxton. So then we find out the audience knows that Vince is on the trip with her. Uh-oh. We already know this ain't going to boil over well. Because remember in the last episode, Tony, practically Tawanda, was calling Vince Velcro. So we know this ain't going to sit well with the rest of the ladies. So then, Tamar finally gets there. She looks like she just woke up or something. She's like, hey, let's go. So they get there. And now they're supposed to walk across this really long, 450-foot long bridge. It's kind of like a rope wooden bridge or whatever. And it's like very rocky, and you know, people are walking across it. They said that it could support, I think, like a lot of elephants and 2 jets. Yeah. Doing the video. Yeah.
Are you video chatting?
Oh, I'm like doing a YouTube video.
Oh, what?
A YouTube video. Just don't mind me. So anywho, so they get to the bridge, and then like Tamar's like, oh no, Lord Jesus, no, Jesus, no. So she gets like pretty much, she's afraid of heights. I'm like, but if you're so afraid of heights, you won't be getting nobody's private jets now, because that requires some height. Okay, so you could be a private jets with Vincent all over the place, but you can't even get across a rope bridge with your sisters. As Tamar would say, that ain't hot. So she's having a fit, and then she walks out. She basically storms out. Now all the white people behind her is like, if this American heifer does not move. They're just looking at her like, it's this American heifer, like, yeah. So, and then they're like, oh, we lost Tamar, like her sisters. And then of course Tawanda's not surprised. So then, you know, Tamar is out of the loop. Now they do a second activity. They have to walk across this platform, a cliff walk basically. It's not like the rope bridge. It's like a platform, like something you walk on like through the rainforest or some crap. But at least it's not rocking and stuff. So you know, Tamar still in her attitude a little bit. So all right, so then we find out Now the girls are supposed to go blueberry picking. Tamar's not there, okay, because something happened in between the time that they went blueberry picking and, you know, when they were at the park. Tawanda explains now Tony wonders why Tamar's not there. She comes back from working off of the set, so she comes and she's like, okay, everybody's here, but where's Tamar? Tawanda explains to her that Tamar had a little tantrum at the park and she's not joining the girls, and she's pretty much gonna leave Canada as soon as possible. And Tony's like, what? Come on, that is freaking stupid. And I'm like, it really is stupid, because it's like, why are you gonna leave? Why are you just gonna leave? But then we kind of find out why a little bit later. But so then Tawanda tells Tony actually that while they were supposed to go to dinner, have a sister's dinner, the reason why Trina, Tracy, and Tawanda had left the dinner was because Vincent was there and the glam squad, and they were like, Tamar, what are you doing? This is supposed to be a sister's retreat. So, and well, actually this is explained towards dinner. So blueberry picking is kind of like, you know, I'm sorry, I mixed those two up. Now Tony calls Tamar. She's like, Tamar, come on, can you please come? And she's like, all right, I'll think about it. So now gets to the dinner, the family dinner at Tony's rental house for the movie. And that's when Tawanda reveals to Miss Evelyn and the rest, you know, the other girls know, and Tony, that Tamar had upset Tawanda and the rest of the girls because Vincent and the glam squad was there. And, you know, Tawanda's looking like, what the F? Like, Tamar, like, seriously? You can't do anything without your husband? So then Tamar basically, and I'll get to Tamar's side and it'll kind of make more sense, but you know, that's why she stormed out, and then Tracy and Trina followed. Tawanda had stormed out and Tracy and Trina had followed. So that caused a bigger rift between Tamar and her sisters. Okay, Tony wasn't there at the time because Tony was shooting. So now, you know, Miss Evelyn is like, you know, I understand y'all, it's a sister's retreat, but y'all really need to work this out as sisters. And you know, Miss Evelyn ain't having nothing. She's like, y'all need to fix this, okay? So then we find out during the dinner, Tony gets a phone call from Craig. I guess it's one of her assistants or the production manager for the movie. And he's like, you know, your assistant Alex got arrested. Tony is in shock. She about to flip off her lid. She's like, what happened? And it, you know, she put on speakerphone and all the girls are hearing it, and they're like, oh well, Alex was caught with liquor in the car and 2 wine glasses. And again, Trina Braxton, party or go home, drops a bombshell. I had a drink with Alex in the car. First of all, Tony chews her out. She's like, do you know that you're not supposed to even do that in the States, let alone in a foreign country? Like, word, Trina? And Trina felt so bad. She was like, Tony, I feel so bad that he got arrested, stuff like that. Now, Tony excuses herself from the table, and she finds out that actually they dropped the charges on Alex. Sorry, I was looking at my phone. Dropped the charges on Alex. And so, my boyfriend dropped the charges on Alex, and you know, because he didn't know stuff, but you know, because Tony Braxton's a superstar, you know, they try to, you know, fix shit, you know. So anyway, but Tony decides to hold it off a little longer, so this way Trina doesn't really, this way Trina could freak out a little more. She wants Trina to feel bad about what she did. And mind you, Trina, you got a DUI the first season. You don't need to be riding around in my car having no liquor, okay? So then, now we move on, and it's the end of the Vancouver trip. We go to California now. We go to LA, and Miss Evelyn, mommy, is visiting Tamar because she wants to get to the bottom actually of the issues between Tamar and her sisters, particularly Tawanda. Now they get to a restaurant, they're having lunch, and you know, Miss Evelyn's like, I want to talk to you. And Tamar's like, because Tamar knows what it's about. So Miss Evelyn's like, y'all acting like fools if you ask me. Now one thing, Miss Evelyn, she'll slap the piss out of you now. So Miss Evelyn, it gets kind of, it was almost getting on Tamar's case, but then Tamar's like, Tamar speaks her piece now. Tamar is like, okay, when the girls got there, Benson was there and the glam squad was there, it seemed like everybody was upset. Tracy and Trina went to the bathroom, and then Tawanda said something to Tamar like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be sister. Now, mind you, Tamar said she sent Vince and the glam squad to the bar. Okay? And then I'm trying to remember what else happened after that. So she's trying to reason with Tawanda. That didn't work. Tawanda left, and the rest of the girls, Tracy and Trina, followed. So basically, it's kind of like almost the same thing, except Tamar said that she sent Vince and them to the glam squad and the glam squad to the bar, and then Tamar takes a picture of the table, and it's like it's 4 drinks and none of the girls are at the table. They basically walked out on Tamar, and Tamar was very hurt by it, I could tell. And you know, like, because she's like, what's going on between me and my sister? She's like, I honestly don't know what I did. And it's kind of like, I feel for Tamar on that part, because it's like, I don't really know what exactly she did, but see, the show can only portray so much of what she did. And I think they said things really was getting bad between them really when it was the Essence Festival, because of the Tamar and Vince spinoff. And you know, Tamar is really the favorite Braxton, so she's going to get a lot more publicity than her other sisters. So I think that also caused a rift between the sisters, particularly. And I don't know if Tawanda is maybe showing a little more jealousy, I don't know. Or Tamar hinted that, you know, Tawanda was throwing shade, but really Tawanda was like, no, I congratulate you. I was like, woo, I'm congratulating, like, woo, Tamar and Vince, y'all need your own show. And you know, but basically, I don't know, it's just a whole big misunderstanding. And Dr. Sherry gonna be in the next episode actually, so we gotta see that one. But anyway, back to what, you know, Tamar was telling her mom. And you know, she was like, you know, mommy, I don't know what's going on. You know, I tried calling, reaching out to these girls, and nobody is reaching out to me, nothing. And she's like, oh, Miss Evans like, oh, I know, y'all need to fix it. Y'all need to, you and Tawanda need to sit down and talk. Okay, so Tamar takes her advice. They sit down and talk, and later that night, I guess, or so, Tawanda and Tamar are having drinks. Now, mind you, why do they always have drinks when it's about to be an argument? Don't you know that sometimes the liquor can make y'all a little more snappy? Okay? That's the truth juice. Liquor can make you a little more snippy. Alright? So they always do that on reality TV. That's why the fights get so bad. They tell them to down a few first. This way y'all could be throwing shit at each other and not, you know. So, anywho, they get at it. It's like it just goes from bad to worse. Nothing is solved. To make it a long story short, they're talking on top of each other, you know. And then, of course, remember from the promo, Tawanda was like, you are being very sneaky. And Tamar's like, that's because of the way you guys been treating me. Okay? So, you know, and then Tawanda finishes the whole thing. The episode ends with Tawanda like, well, she takes her little sip. She's like, basically like, yeah, that was to be expected. And when you try to pull the truth out of Tamar's bag, she keeps. I'm like, oh my god, this is a mess, y'all. This is so immature. This is like high school stuff. And I always notice that Tawanda and Tamar usually have little rifts, and I think there's a lot of underlying issues between Tawanda and Tamar. on both sides. I think a little bit that Tawanda is a little jealous of Tamar because Tamar's getting her own stuff and, you know, she's shining. This is her moment and her career is popping off. And I think she also misses her too because, like, you know, with Love and War and like a lot of stuff going on that caused a lot of tension. And the fact that Tamar is with her husband most of the time. And maybe she just misses her, I think. You know, and mind you, Vince almost died, you know, a season back. So, like, I think really Tamar feels it's imperative to be close to her husband, especially since they want to have a baby. And if you want to be in a successful and long and loving marriage, you got to spend time with your husband. I mean, let's just be real. And, you know, I also think that Tamar, her ego has tripped a little bit. But remember, even season before that, Tamar's ego went through the roof. You know, and they had problems with that the previous season. So I think maybe that might have something to do with it. But at the same time, I don't think Tamar's all the way guilty. But forgive me if I'm wrong, y'all. But I honestly think that Tamar's not all the way guilty in this one. You know. But I think Tamar and Tawanda always... Remember that big blow up they had at that studio when they was going to do We TV luncheon? And they was going to go to New York that time. And they really hashed out. Tamar called her jealous bitch. Like, I was like, ooh. Ooh. Okay. So, and Tawanda snapped at her. She was like, Tawanda cussed at her. She's like, oh, what's up, real fucking da-da-da-da-da. You need to have kids to understand. And Tamar was like, I don't have kids to understand. Like, it was just a big, ugly argument. And, you know, but I hope they really hash these issues out and take care of it because, you know, I think next episode is going to be even worse because Tony is like on the verge of walking out. Daddy Braxton is in this one and Mama Braxton and then, you know, all the sisters and then Tracy's in Tamar's face and Tamar telling Tony, get your life. I was like, ooh, child. Lord have mercy. But anyway, tell me what you guys think about this episode. I'm sorry I didn't do it on Thursday, but then I tried to do it the YouTube way and they don't let it pass 10 minutes, so like they rejected my video. But y'all can't reject my video now because I'm a partner, okay? So tell me what you guys think. Like, comment, rate, subscribe. I'll be back hopefully with the Braxtons for the next episode because it's gonna be a messy one. Oh, I'll be there. I'll tune in. Don't forget that the Braxtons are on We TV Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. And that's just about it. So, ciao, sweet puddings. I'll see you later. And God bless and bye-bye.